Inside a warehouse on America's eastern seaboard, they're breaking down an intergalactic relic. It first fell to Earth in the 70s, disassembled now to rise again in the hallowed halls of a new museum of African American history in Washington, D.C. Its mission now, as then, to funkify. Back in 1975, the mega band Parliament, fronted by star child George Clinton, turned funk into an art form. Its iconic stage prop, the Mothership, offered up the revolutionary concept that there might actually be black people in space. It was a spectacle of sci-fi, funk and fun.
The Mothership, that's a means of transportation that take you through it. Not only space, but time. We are still traveling on the Mothership.
And what was the reaction like when you used to bring it out at a concert and it would kind of descend from the heavens?
Oh, it blew minds.
Its mind-blowing properties such that the venerable Smithsonian Institution retrieved it from George Clinton's front room for its new African American museum.
The Mothership was essentially this symbolic mode of transporting one's conscious self into this ethereal place. And of course, you know, that's a pretty funky and far out kind of way of thinking, but that represents the grander scope of his thinking. African Americans sort of entering this ethereal place to sort of liberate one's mind and to free themselves from, you know, the shackles of racism or poverty or any other societal constraints.
Everybody give it up to Mr. George Clinton, y'all.
But before there was any Mothership, there was the music.
Y'all ready to party?
At 72, George Clinton is the mother lode, the guy who joins the doo-wop to the funk to the hip-hop. In the 60s, he wrote for Motown, but a decade later blew it all apart with a mash of horns, guitars, rhythm and bass, fronting the bands Parliament and Funkadelic. He dabbled in glam and drew transatlantic inspiration for his intergalactic travel.
Were you listening to Bowie at the time? You know, there were other people out in space at that time.
Fame, the same on the one. He had it right on the one. Fame, dun, 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 dun. We want the fun. I mean, that was, everybody should know that.
On tour now, they roll out tunes from that back catalogue that changed and somehow keep on changing popular music. His fans thrilled by how relevant the music they love remains.
Listen to a lot of hip-hop these days. So much George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic is sampled in so much hip-hop, and that's because, I mean, you know, he helped pioneer that sound of just, you know, just, I don't, you can't even describe it. It's just, you know, it's just down.
The riffs, rhythm and vocal gymnastics of P-Funk gifted contemporary black music a treasure trove of samples.
I've heard you describe it as kind of the DNA of hip-hop.
It is the DNA of hip-hop, but that music has become the soundtrack for the next 25 years. Hip-hop is the same music for the most part. This backdrops of the other lines that the other kids are hearing, Snoop and all of them.
It was 1993 when Snoop Dogg cannibalized no less than 4 George Clinton tracks for his hugely successful debut single. But But providing the DNA to launch the careers of a generation of hip-hop artists
Okay, it's like the circus.
hasn't brought George Clinton untold riches, anything but.
We can get 3 generations of that.
Historic legal battles over copyright and ownership of his songs has denied the funk master his due.
That's why I'm fighting so hard for the music, because it represents so much. We at least have to put up enough fight that people know where it comes from.
It's not the music, but at least one of George Clinton's big ideas is safe for the future. When you next see the Mothership, it'll be drifting above the lobby of the Smithsonian's African American Museum, anchoring its music exhibition, hovering at the shoulder of Chuck Berry's Cadillac.